My friends, every day, the world will test you. Someone will insult you, disappoint you, or treat you unfairly. The question is not if this will happen, the question is how you will respond. To never be angry or bothered by anyone is not about escaping the world. It is about mastering yourself within it. Control what you can, release what you can't. This simple truth carries the weight of a lifetime's wisdom. Most of our pain comes not from the world itself, but from our refusal to accept that it moves beyond our control. We want people to behave a certain way, situations to unfold as we expect, and life to reward us for our efforts. Yet the universe was never designed to obey our desires. It moves according to its own nature, indifferent to our plans. When we resist this, we suffer. When we let go, we begin to find peace. Peace begins when you stop trying to control the world and start mastering your own reactions. The mind that believes it can bend reality to its will is a mind forever restless. Every disappointment becomes a storm, every obstacle an enemy. But when you recognize that your control ends at your own thoughts and actions, life becomes lighter. The anger fades, the frustration weakens, and the heart grows still. You start to see that the only true power you have lies within yourself, the power to think clearly, to choose wisely, to respond with calm. Imagine someone speaking to you with harsh words. Your first impulse may be to defend, to strike back, to prove them wrong. But what if you paused and remembered that you cannot control their behavior? Their words belong to them, not you. The moment you accept this, their power over you dissolves. You take back control, not over them, but over yourself. You choose your peace over pride. You remain calm, not because you are weak, but because you have learned that anger wastes energy on what cannot be changed. This principle applies to every part of life. You cannot control whether people appreciate your efforts, but you can control the sincerity with which you give them. You cannot control the weather, but you can control your attitude toward it. You cannot control the passage of time, but you can control how you use it. When you focus only on what is within your power, your mind becomes clear and your actions become effective. When you scatter your strength trying to control what lies beyond you, you lose both peace and progress. Letting go is not surrender, it is wisdom. It is understanding that the more you try to grip the world, the more it slips through your fingers. When you release what you cannot control, you do not lose power, you gain freedom. You free yourself from endless anxiety, from the illusions of control that keep you trapped in disappointment. You begin to live with flow, not friction. You move with the rhythm of life instead of fighting against it. To master your reactions is to master your destiny. The calm mind sees clearly, acts wisely, and remains unbroken amid chaos. The world will always move as it pleases, but the one who knows how to govern themselves will never be its prisoner. Perception shapes emotion. The world is not made of joy or sorrow, success or failure, peace or conflict. It is made of events, neutral and indifferent. It is the mind that paints them with color. What one person sees as tragedy, another may see as a lesson. What one calls loss, another calls liberation. The difference lies not in the event itself, but in the lens through which it is seen. No event is good or bad by itself. It becomes so only by how you choose to see it. When the mind is clouded by fear or pride, it twists reality into shapes that wound us. We say something is terrible because it did not go as planned. We call someone cruel because they did not act as we hoped. But if we step back and strip away judgment, we begin to see things as they are. Neither blessings nor curses, only experiences waiting to be understood. The mind that controls its perception holds the key to its emotions. When you decide to see life differently, you start to feel differently. Consider failure. Many see it as humiliation, a mark of inadequacy. Yet failure is simply feedback. It reveals what does not work so you can move closer to what does. The same event that crushes one person can strengthen another, depending on how they interpret it. The person who views hardship as injustice grows bitter. The one who sees it as training grows wiser. The event is the same. The difference lies in perception. Even pain, which seems so absolute, is shaped by how we frame it. Pain can be torment when resisted, but it can also be a teacher when embraced. Every challenge that enters your life offers a chance to practice patience, humility, and courage. If you see it as punishment, it breaks you. If you see it as preparation, it builds you. The mind decides which it will be. When you stop labeling everything that happens as good or bad, life becomes lighter. You begin to see events as movements in a greater pattern that you may not yet understand. You no longer waste energy fighting reality. You observe it, learn from it, and adapt. In that stillness, emotion loses its power to rule you. You no longer ride the highs and lows of circumstance. You walk calmly through both, knowing that meaning comes not from what happens, but from how you interpret it. A peaceful life is not one without storms, but one where the storms no longer shake you. You learn to meet each moment with curiosity rather than judgment. You ask not, why is this happening to me? But, what can I see differently here? The world outside you will never stop changing, but the world inside you can remain steady if you remember this truth. Perception is the root of every emotion, and you hold the power to shape both. Detach from the opinions of others. What others say or do reflects them, not you. Their judgment cannot wound you unless you hand them the weapon. Most of the suffering people carry is born not from their own actions, but from the voices of others echoing in their minds. We spend years trying to prove our worth, to please, to defend, to fit into shapes that were never ours. Yet the truth is simple. No one truly sees you as you are. They see only a reflection of their own beliefs, their own fears, their own limitations. When you understand this, their opinions lose their power over your peace. The world is filled with people eager to judge. Some will call you arrogant for your confidence, others will call you weak for your kindness. If you chase their approval, you will run endlessly, never reaching a finish line. You cannot build a steady life on the unstable foundation of others' opinions. One moment they will praise you, the next, they will condemn you. Their applause is as fleeting as their criticism. To depend on it is to surrender your freedom. The one who seeks validation from others becomes a slave to their shifting moods. What others say about you is a reflection of their inner world. The angry speak from anger, the jealous from insecurity, the kind from understanding. If someone mocks you, it reveals more about their heart than your worth. You do not need to respond to every opinion, just as you do not need to attend every argument you are invited to. Silence is not weakness, it is mastery. It is the refusal to let noise enter the temple of your peace. When you detach from the opinions of others, you do not become cold or indifferent, you become grounded. You act from principle, not pressure. You begin to live truthfully, guided by your own conscience rather than the shifting standards of the crowd. The person who depends on external approval loses direction the moment it disappears. But the one who finds contentment within stands firm, even when misunderstood. It takes courage to be unmoved by praise or blame. The ego craves recognition, but the soul seeks peace. When you learn to value peace over popularity, you begin to see the opinions of others as passing clouds. They drift by, but they do not change the sky. You may listen to feedback and learn from it, but you no longer let it define you. You no longer carry the burden of proving yourself to those who were never meant to understand you. Freedom begins the moment you stop explaining yourself. You owe no justification for being who you are. The truth does not need validation to remain true. When you no longer hand others the weapon of judgment, their words lose their sharpness. The calm heart becomes untouchable, and no opinion, however loud, can disturb the quiet strength of one who knows their own worth. Respond, don't react. Anger is a reflex. Calmness is a choice. Power lies in the pause between impulse and action. The space between what happens and what you do next defines the strength of your character. Anyone can shout when provoked or strike when hurt, but it takes mastery to remain composed when emotion tempts you to lose control. Reacting is easy, it is instinct. Responding is deliberate, it is wisdom. The difference between the two is the difference between chaos and clarity. When you react, you surrender your power. You allow someone else's behavior to dictate your state of mind. You let the situation steer you instead of steering yourself. A harsh word, an unfair act, or an unexpected disappointment can pull you into anger before you even realize it. But if you can pause for just a moment, breathe, and choose your response, you reclaim your authority. You remind yourself that your peace belongs to you, not to whoever tried to disturb it. The calm mind sees options. The reactive mind sees only conflict. Anger often disguises itself as strength, but it is the opposite. It is the mind losing command of itself. It promises satisfaction, but delivers regret. How many times have people destroyed relationships, opportunities, or reputations in seconds of rage, only to wish later that they had stayed silent? True strength is not found in striking back, but in the self-restraint that refuses to be provoked. When you choose calmness, you are not surrendering, you are asserting control over yourself. The pause between impulse and action is sacred. In that brief silence, you can examine your thoughts and decide if the reaction you feel will serve you or harm you. The pause is where wisdom speaks before the emotion shouts. In that stillness, you can ask, will this response bring peace or prolong chaos? Is this anger worth my energy? Most of the time, you will find it is not. By choosing to respond instead of react, you end the cycle of negativity before it consumes you. Every interaction becomes a chance to practice this art. When insulted, respond with dignity. When challenged, respond with patience. When misunderstood, respond with clarity, not hostility. The one who controls their emotions controls the outcome. Others may raise their voices, but your calmness will unsettle them more than any argument ever could. They expect reaction, not composure. When you refuse to be drawn into conflict, you rise above it. Responding is not passivity, it is precision. It is using reason where emotion once ruled. It is acting from understanding, not impulse. Each time you respond instead of react, you grow stronger, more centered, and more at peace. The storms of life may come, but they will not shake you, for you have learned to command yourself. In that command lies freedom, and in that freedom lies the quiet power that no one can take away.